There's a new breaking update from the AI wars in Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley has already spent $300 billion this year in order to invest into the future of AI, and Google was falling behind until they chose to reach out to Apple and solidify their position as possibly even the king of these wars. So what happened in this recent breakthrough? Well, it's a double-edged sword. Not only is Apple experiencing some issues with privacy, Google is actually venturing into uncharted territory to be invasive into your privacy. So Google decided to reach back out to Apple, as they used to be the default search engine on iPhones for the longest time, until the EU came crashing down and gave customers 8 other options or so if you open up the default browser settings for search engines. 7 of them you've probably never heard of, and if you're using Bing, like, how can you even watch this video? Do you even know what YouTube is? This is helping Google solidify their position as a leader in AI to be on over 1 billion Apple devices. This is going to be huge for them, because if they are the default AI on Apple search engines, not only are they going to integrate deeply into Apple and make the experience on Apple even better, they're going to have a contract with Apple to share that data with each other, and there's going to be a big pot of data that these entities are going to have. Now, is this ethical or something you should be concerned about? Well, recently Apple had to bend the knee in the UK and remove encryption on iCloud devices, meaning that your iCloud on newer devices and potentially in the future will no longer be encrypted. This is a great thing for advertisers, because if your data is not encrypted, we're going to find you and we're going to send ads, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? Cookie consent, all these things, all these opt-outs. Is that a real thing? Now let's look at it, what Google is doing from Google's vantage point. Now Google is going to be on billions of new devices. They are shifting away from the hardware and moving back to their roots of software and really trying to integrate deeply into all these different ecosystems. They want to be ubiquitous. They want to be everywhere. So what does that mean for Google? Well, they've already anticipated these shifts. In January, there was announcements how Google is shifting their policy in fingerprinting. Fingerprinting is an advanced method. We're talking about Jason Bourne type of tracking, where they look at your device, your IP address, your unique IMEI number, essentially the serial number that's locked to your device that you're holding in your hand right now. And these fingerprints are unique to you. As soon as you register your device, that is locked to your identity. Whether you use it or not, that device is always going to be trackable to your identity. So what does this mean from the advertising spectrum? With cookies and all these pop-up banners and ad blockers, the user has a choice to opt out. You can opt out of that, and that makes it difficult for advertisers and businesses to serve relevant ads, because relevant ads are inviting, especially if you are in the intent phase. Sometimes ads can be invasive, but when they're good and they're personalized and they're tailored, I'll wait those 5 seconds to hit skip, right? It's not so bad. But you're in pure agony for 5 seconds if that ad isn't even relevant to you. 5 seconds, 15 seconds, or you have to watch the full 60 or 90 seconds. Come on, guys. Make a good ad if you're going to target me, all right? Since these policy shifts, that means Google is going to retain these fingerprints. There was a point to where the user could opt out, and now Google is shifting it. Well, if we have these devices and these fingerprints and we got them ethically, we're going to keep them. If you're an advertiser and you collect those, you can keep them ethically, because where we're heading is advertising was all cookie based. Now you start to build your own fingerprint customer data platforms. That's what we're doing here at Zima Media. We can build a better fingerprint on your customer. The thing about that is it's not one-on-one yet. You still need a big pot of users, conversions, and data to make meaningful optimizations, the same kind of optimizations you were doing 5-10 years ago if you're advertising. And that isn't enough. It's good for right now. The whole industry is catching up to customer data platforms, but the next trend here is going to be fingerprinting. This is a very fine line of ethical advertising, because at one side of it, you're going to be really getting better targeted ads, delivering better results to your customer. And on the other side of things, the consumer is just going to get inundated with more and more ads, especially if these fingerprint databases are collected and compromised. It's very likely that these first-party databases with your fingerprints and your data can be compromised at some point in time. It hasn't happened yet, but if you're accumulating this data, app developers have this sort of data on you. When you download an app, they have this sort of data, and they can already use that with this new policy shift to advertise to you. That's why you get these little video game or all these little pop-ups from these apps you look at in the App Store, because it's quite relevant. If you go to their website, you're going to get that app, and that's how that works, because they have that fingerprint linked to your device. As it starts to scale and these fingerprints start to leak online, you're going to have fingerprints that are tied to you, just like your social security number. You're going to have fingerprints that are also going to be tied to your affinities and your specific types of habits. So advertiser can almost reverse engineer who you are without having any sort of privy into your life. Is that ethical? That's a question that we all have to answer, because I'm an advertiser. For me, there's a benefit here, right? The benefit is greed, because we can get better results for our clients. But is that benefit for you and me? Do I like that? Personally, I don't like that. However, that's how the internet works. Without advertising, the internet would shut off. This is the double-edged sword that we have to really consider. But since these policies are shifting, how much further are they going to push forward? We know in iOS 18.4, Gemini is just around the corner. They just released their Gemini app for iPhone. We know the integration is coming, so they're going to have the data, your chats and your queries and your prompts, and you're also going to be feeding that with your fingerprint. Now Google is going to have a concrete fingerprint on you. They're going to be running algorithms on your chats and queries to develop all of the insights into your affinities. Not only are their data-driven ad models and conversion models going to perform better, they're going to know more about your customer. So you can see how this is not just a small policy shift. This is a tectonic shift in advertising. This is the type of advertising that was only available for billion-dollar brands. And now that technology is getting inexpensive and trending to zero, and this is going to be available to the mom and pops of the world. So is this beneficial to your business if you can get targeted ads and get the actual customers that need it? Or is this harmful because you're just injecting yourself into somebody's life and they may or may not need you? Tell me in the comments below, how do you feel about Google fingerprinting you and using AI to build a better targeted profile about you, your life, your personal life, and let advertisers target you?